Visa Knicks game night. And tonight in Midtown, it is the New York Knicks going for an 8th consecutive win as Linsanity continues here at the Garden. Tonight's opponent, the New Orleans Hornets. Let's say commerce is good here on 7th Avenue. We'll watch it all unfold together behind the retired numbers of all the greatest Knick legends from the Geico Studio Suite and the Gecko. Good evening, everybody. I'm Al Trowick. So much going on. Not sure where to start. The Knicks signed J.R. Smith. We'll get to that. Carmelo Anthony not available tonight. We'll update that situation. And a little bit later, we'll get you a sneak peek of Jeremy Lin to the point. There's also the All-Star game, which is right around the corner. And the Knicks now will have 4 representatives taking part in the festivities in Orlando, Florida. Carmelo Anthony in the big one, the All-Star game. In the Sprite Slam Dunk Contest, Iman Shumpert with maybe a helper. The higher shooting stars includes Landry Fields. And the Rising Stars Challenge includes Landry Fields and Jeremy Lin. I can see some alley-oop dunks in their future. We hear from some of these guys headed to the All-Star game. We'll start with Jeremy Lin.
I'm going to be in the rookie game, and that's about it. So,
how exciting is that for you?
It's definitely exciting, but right now trying not to think too far ahead, just take it one day at a time. And obviously it's an honor and to be able to play with Landry in that game, and so I think Shump should be in that game as well, but you know, that's the way it goes.
Initially thinking I'd be in the rookie game, but I wasn't in the rookie game, and then next thing I know, my agent calls and said I was in the dunk contest, and I was like, I don't really have many flashy dunks this year, but I'll do it. So I was excited.
Represented well. You know, hopefully you could be like that every year with the Knicks. And like I said, just extremely fortunate, blessed to go down there with all my teammates.
What is this rumor that you're bringing a guest, a teammate?
It's true. Well, thankfully now he'll already be down there competing in the rookie game. Him and Jeremy and Landry will already be competing, so you know it makes it kind of a lot easier for me to use them.
Okay, the NBA got smart with that one. Meanwhile, in the news today, the New York Knicks with a very rare opportunity to sign free agent guard J.R. Smith. The former Denver Nugget was over in China playing because of the lockout. This is a player in his career, a 43% shooter, a player who's averaged 12 points a game, a little over 20 minutes a game, and clearly he is athletic, he is dynamic, and when he gets hot, he can really be a difference maker to the hoop as well. So he's back from China, he's ready to go, and the Knicks have signed him. To make room for J.R. Smith, Ronaldo Bachman was placed on waivers. So here he is in his career, 12.5 points, 43%. He's been a bench player for most of his time with the Denver Nuggets. A short while ago, the general manager interim and the senior vice president of basketball operations, Glenn Grunwald, met the media.
Well, you always take a hard look at every situation, every opportunity that presents itself, and we've been, you know, looking at and talking about JR for a long time now, since obviously his time in China was going to end at some point during this season, and you know, we just felt that it was an opportunity to acquire a very good basketball player, and to help us in a way that I think we're in need of. Like, he's a talented offensive player. He can shoot the ball. He can get to the rim. He can run the floor. So we just felt that it was a right fit for what sort of we're going to be facing the rest of this year.
I know he's a very talented basketball player, and we're going to try to get him fit him into our system and plug him in. His talents fit our system perfectly. Great three-point shooter, can put the ball on the floor, can run a pick and roll, all that stuff. So that's my mindset going in, and then obviously we'll see what we need to do, what he needs to do, and try to adjust it. And if all the parties are willing, then there shouldn't be any reason why he doesn't really add a lot to our team.
While those press conferences were going on, Carmelo Anthony was on the court with assistant coach Kenny Atkinson, testing out his pulled groin and just getting a feel for things. He is not going to play tonight. We'll get the latest from Tina Servasio in a moment. Here is the starting lineup for the New York Knicks tonight, and it has been working. Amari Stoudemire, Tyson Chandler, Bill Walker, and the backcourt of Landry Fields and Jeremy Lin. Meanwhile, the Knicks in their last game here took on a team that really wasn't very good. It's a lot like the situation they face tonight. A good sign for the Knicks tonight is how they handled their business a couple of nights ago. Meanwhile, the Knicks, as far as what has been going on with this team, had this to say.
At guard, at 6'3" from Harvard, number 17, Jeremy Lin.
That was 19,763, speaking very loudly. In the game, Lynn puts on a dribbling exhibition, goes the full circuit, and flips it in with his left hand. The Garden erupted. Still in the first quarter, Landry Fields. Fields, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Tyson Chandler got involved. Third quarter, Knicks pouring it on. The place was going crazy. They led by as many as 28 points. And oh yeah, Jared Jeffries, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Got an ovation when he left the game. Knicks working the ball around the perimeter. Steve Novak is another player he's lifted up. And the Knicks go on to win an easy one by a final score of 100-85. It's a season-high 7-game winning streak, their longest since 2011. They are back at 500 for the first time since January 14th. And Jeremy Lin's last 7 games, averaging 24, shooting 51%, and passing off on average 9.1 assists. Well, there's always some things to update. Down on the court is the place to get the information. Let's send you down to Tina Cervasio. Tina?
Al, as you mentioned earlier, no Carmelo Anthony tonight, but we did get the opportunity to see him working out a little bit here on the Garden floor, putting some shots up. The problem is, when he went through some running the other day, he was very sore yesterday coming out of that workout. He did not work out with the Knicks at this morning shoot-around, so as you see, he gave it a go today. Now, as Carmelo was coming off of the court, asked if he could play on Sunday, he said, "We'll see." And I said, "Are you practicing tomorrow?" He says, "I'm gonna try." And he ran into the back by the training room, so you could see that he's moving around. You got to be careful with the groin injuries, because especially that running, you want him at full speed to get up and down the court. You saw that slight move that he made to pull the groin initially, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But it's likely that Carmelo will be back to play on Sunday. Now, I'm watching, I'm corner of my eye right now, Baron Davis is working out with assistant coach Kenny Atkinson, and Kenny was really getting into him, giving him contact, trying to defend and really see if Davis can get his shot off when getting that contact and having someone up against him. Now, Davis is feeling good. He played a hard 3-on-3 yesterday. Now, tomorrow's not a full practice for the Knicks. So, but Baron Davis and Carmelo Anthony, if they're ready to go, they will have one of the harder practices before that game on Sunday. Coach D'Antoni said Sunday, Monday, maybe Wednesday for Baron Davis, but realistically, Baron Davis will most likely be back right after the All-Star break. And remember, the Knicks really only have one game that week out, so that would be smart. He can get ready this week, be 100% healthy, and then get a good break after possibly his first game back after the All-Star break out.
Okay, Tina, now Alan Hahn's Knicks Fix is up next here as we go to break. Sad thoughts and fantastic memories of Gary Carter, who passed away. The kid was part of the 1986 Mets, which will go down in history and never be forgotten as one of the greatest baseball summers in the history of this city. Gary Carter, dead yesterday because of brain cancer at the age of 57. Time now for our Knicks Fix with Alan Hahn in New York City tonight, and Madison Square Garden is really buzzing again. Knicks and the New Orleans Hornets, and Alan joins us from our courtside studio. Let's start with J.R. Smith, Alan. Where do you project that he'll fit in, and how will Mike D'Antoni use him?
He's going to have the same role as he had in Denver, Al. It's going to be basically the sixth man, the first guard off the bench, which he can play either position. And as Mike D'Antoni said before the game, depth is a good problem to have. So you're going to have a lot of guards, and there's going to be some minutes to share around. But, you know, guys are playing less minutes means you can play a lot harder. He gives them the three-point shooting that they're needing to space the floor better. He's also a scorer off the bench, and we've seen this season, offense hasn't been that great off the bench. This gives that a boost.
Now, depth is a great thing, and I don't think we've mentioned the name Josh Harrelson enough, but he's coming back from his injury. Then you have Baron Davis. I mean, how do you envision this all working out, especially when Mike D'Antoni wants an 8-man rotation, say?
Well, he even admitted before the game he's probably not going to be able to hold it to an 8-man rotation. It might have to go to 9 or even 10, because you have to fill out those spots and you have to use the talent that you have. And in certain games, certain things are going to work, certain lineups are going to work. So again, it's a good problem to have all these players to choose from, guys that can score. Josh Harrelson's a name that not everybody talks about, but when you talk about the front court depth, he's somebody that's going to help there. You already have Jared Jeffries playing good minutes. Steve Novak's giving you good minutes at the 3 and 4 spots. And then Josh Harrelson comes in as a guy that can defend the low post and stretch the floor, shooting that corner 3. He's expected back after the All-Star break, which is the 6-week period they gave him for the broken wrist. He'll be ready to go as well.
Now, instant celebrity can be a crushing weight, and Jeremy Lin has to get used to being the newly invented Jeremy Lin. The All-Star game, throw that in as a distraction. What's your guess? I mean, just as a human being, can he handle it?
Well, first and foremost, everybody's got to keep him away from Kim Kardashian. Let's start there. But
Good
that's not
point.
going to be a problem. But All-Star is the perfect example because his, fame right now and popularity, the NBA wants to capitalize on that. He does belong in the Shooting Stars game, so the Rising Stars game, so he'll be in that, and that's a great thing. But he's already admitted that some of this stuff right now is starting to wear on him, and it's a little mentally and emotionally taxing, was the words he used this morning. And that sounds very familiar to last year when the favorite son was Blake Griffin at the All-Star game, and he participated in the rookie-sophomore game, slam dunk contest, and the All-Star game. And he admitted, too, that it kind of took the fun out of it. It was a hectic schedule, and he really didn't enjoy the weekend. Now, what Jeremy has to his advantage is the fact that he comes back from the weekend. The Knicks only have one game that week after the break. Imagine in this compressed schedule that they have that kind of time where it's one game within a 7-day span so he can get some rest and get some continuity with some of the new teammates that he'll be joining with.
You mentioned the slam dunk contest. I love the interview Tina had inside the locker room, and it really made you think, okay, what are they going to come up with? Now, the Knicks have heritage in the slam dunk. Kenny Walker was a winner. Nate Robinson was a winner. And the crazy thing is, in recent years, we've seen all sorts of stuff, but this one takes us down memory lane. Kenny Walker. We've seen Blake Griffin do his thing. And as you look at all these dunks, and you know that Iman Shumpert and Jeremy Lin are going to want to go one up on these guys. What could they possibly do?
Well, it starts there with Nate Robinson jumping over his idol Spud Webb, and then they do the Superman Kryptonite. We all remember that. And Nate Robinson being the only 3-time slam dunk champion in NBA history. The Knicks have 4 champions, obviously Nate being 3 of them. Iman Shumpert looking to be the 3rd Knick to win the title. So what does he do to one-up him? Let's see. There was a couch at Landry Field's apartment, we remember. And we all know Jeremy Lin's probably going to be part of this. So we remember Baron Davis in the Kia passing the ball to Blake Griffin. Use your imagination. Here it is right here. Just imagine a couch and Jeremy Lin and Iman Shumpert. Do you think it would top this move right here? Could be a lot of fun. We'll see.
What if Jeremy Lin was sleeping on the couch?
And then he made the pass in his sleep.
Right.
It would be fitting.
He could be wearing Knick pajamas and everything. It would be great.
And Landry could be sitting next to him reading a book like typical Ivy League type school guys would be doing, right?
All right, one thing we can see on the scoreboard in these 7 wins is a lot of Jeremy Lin, but a lot of defense that's been played, especially in some crucial fourth quarters in which the Knicks were able to forge some comebacks. The Knicks have allowed fewer than 20 points in 4 of the last 5 quarters. They're 2nd in the NBA in steals, and look at the turnovers that they force. Are we missing anything, Alan?
Yeah, they're also number 5 in defensive rating. Imagine that. The Knicks are a top 5 defensive team in the NBA, something we haven't been able to say in a long time. And it's a Mike D'Antoni coach team, which is normally all about offense. So the interesting thing here is they're actually a very good defensive team, which is something no one's really talking about right now, thanks to Iman Shumpert and also obviously Tyson Chandler and everybody else buying in. Jared Jeffries off the bench as well. So you have the defensive philosophy and personality starting to develop with this team, just as Jeremy Lin is unlocking the offense. And J.R. Smith now joins. Carmelo Anthony back soon from injury. Could get very interesting because the offensive team that everybody knows about with Mike D'Antoni's coaching is also a very good defensive team as well.
All right, Al, we'll see you on the Ford Knicks postgame.
You got it, Al.
That's going to do it for this portion of Visa Knicks Game Night. When we come back, we have uncovered the footage of Jeremy Lin winning the California High School Basketball Championship, plus a sneak peek of his special half-hour sit-down that comes up after our postgame tonight on MSG. We're back on Visa Knicks Game Night, getting set to watch the Knicks go for an 8th straight win against the New Orleans Hornets at Madison Square Garden. How about a little high school hint of Linsanity as we flash you back to March 2006. That's Jeremy Lin of Palo Alto High School as they took on Mater Dei from Santa Ana. This is the California Boys Division II Championship. And as Lin, although a little bit scrawnier, showed all the variety that we have seen in his time with the Knicks. This is his senior season. He finished the game with 17 points. Palo Alto up just 2. 2 minutes to go. The shot clock was counting down. And watch as Jeremy Lin banks in a 25-footer. Palo Alto up 5. but 30 seconds to go. Mater Dei was back to within 2, and Jeremy Lin, Mr. Big Shot. Palo Alto with the upset, beating Mater Dei 51-47 to win the California Division II state championship. And you know the story after that. Jeremy could not get a sniff from any division